Oh, Dave, how are you going?
I'm all right. How you doing, Ted? Good?
Yeah, good. Yeah, not too bad. Been out on the bike today. It's nice weather.
Oh, nice.
And
Nice.
I'm on strike, so didn't have to go to work.
That's good.
And yeah, I went and gave my forms in for the union, and because we get paid when we're on strike, you see.
Oh, okay.
So we're getting paid 88 quid a day for being on strike.
That's all right.
That's fucking bad.
Yeah. Well, it's hammering down the rain over here, so you wouldn't want to go on your bike around.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's fucking
Yeah.
gorgeous over here. It was 20 degrees.
Oh, nice.
But I went to look at a bike, an FZ1 at a place, a motorbike shop, and the fucking place was closed. So I knocked on the door, and his wife answered and said he's gone out to get some parts. And I was like, well, I couldn't look at a fucking motorbike, you know? Oh, yeah. So what time is he coming back? He said, oh, he'll be back at 6 o'clock. I was like, well, fuck that. It was like 2 o'clock or something.
Was it, private, was it?
No. It's a fucking motorbike shop.
Oh, right.
So, fucking prick. But, yeah. Oh, I got a news story.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not actually a news story. It's an interview question that some guy was being interviewed for a job. And at the end of the interview, the guy that was interviewing him said, oh, what hobbies do you have? And he said, I like to collect things that pretty women throw away. So
Right.
sounded like a bit of a stalker. So obviously he didn't get the job, and the interviewee or the interviewer?
The
interviewer.
Yeah.
He passes information on to the police.
So what stuff did he like to collect then?
I don't know. It didn't say. It just said the things that pretty women throw away. So you just go through their fucking rubbish and.
Well, it could be anything.
Could be. It could be literally anything.
Perhaps you like wearing their stiletto hand-me-downs or something like that. It might not have been like completely dodgy. You never know.
Well, it sounds dodgy, doesn't it?
Well, I got visions of him running around on the weekend with underpants on his head. So
could be.
It don't sound right, do it?
No, it doesn't sound very good at all. So, what have you been up to?
I've been watching a bit more of that Hunters. So we're on, I think it's episode 8, which is just class. And then I was reading up on it as well. Then it's really, really brutal, but it's very interesting and a good watch. And then when I finished work, I chucked on Legend with Tom Hardy, all about the craze.
Oh right, the craze, yeah.
Oh, he's so good in that, Tom Hardy. That guy's such a good actor.
He plays both parts, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I've seen it. I think I've seen it a couple of times, but
yeah, he's really, really good in it. I mean, I don't know whether they were really, well, I guess they were that crazy. Do you know what I mean? But the way he acts and the way he depicts Ronnie is just superb, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he's really, really good. So yeah, so I've been watching that. So just a bit of telly this week, to be honest. You know, nothing exciting. We're supposed to have been having a barbecue on the weekend, but I think it's going to be hammering down with rain. So
I think it's supposed to rain over here tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's why I went out on the bike today. You know, I took the Aprilia out, and then I thought, get out because the weather's good, because we might get a chance for the rest of the week. So and the guy was fucking shut.
Yeah. So you're going to keep the Aprilia now, or is that you going on a bit?
No, I want to get rid of it. It's just too much for me. You know, my girlfriend comes on the back and she's fucking lying on me because I'm so far forward. And if she's not lying on me, then she's like, flicking off the back, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's a bit, you know, as much as I love my Ninja, it's the same situation, really. But it's only a 600, so it's less power. So I don't really like killing my Ninja with 2 up, you know?
Yeah.
Although I have done it, but I don't think it's fair on the bike, to be honest.
Don't want to lose too many horses, do you?
Well, that's 2 on there. So apart from that, not much else going on.
How are you feeling? Have you had your results back and stuff now?
Yeah, I had all my results all were negative. I had an airway infection, but that's all cleared up now from antibiotics.
Okay.
But I'm just still so tired, you know. It's like I don't know why I'm fucking tired all the time. Must
Yeah.
be 'cause it might be my age, but
Yeah, well, Paul did make reference to your age a lot, didn't he? The fact you're a year older than him or whatever.
yeah.
He's loving that. He did post on Facebook. He said during his podcast with us that he was going to West Wales.
Yeah.
So he's posted on Facebook the stuff that he's taken, and he was talking about that straw thing he's bought that he can like suck water out of puddles and do whatever else he's going to do with. So he was just showing the equipment that he's taken.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, but I was pleased to see he had a mask and hand sanitizer. So
right. Okay.
he's packed for COVID.
Is he going on his own? Or with his mate? He said he goes with his mate, didn't he?
I think he was on about. He might be going with somebody else. Yeah, but he was going to sleep under a what do you call it?
Viaduct.
No. What do you call them? The things that you poncho. So he
right, yeah.
Poncho, and he reckons the poncho's going to double up as a tent.
Okay.
And he reckons he's going to sleep underneath it. He said it is a bit flimsy, but we'll see how we go. So
okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to be because he normally posts live as well, so I think that'll be interesting. He's going to be windswept well, isn't he?
Yeah, well, if it gets windy, it might not be windy, but
yeah, that's it. No.
You might get wet.
Yeah, it's supposed to be definitely raining, and so the weather's definitely turned. So
because if it's a poncho, it's got a hole in it, eh?
Yeah, 3.
Where your head go fucking where your head goes through.
Yeah, and his arms, and his body.
Well, no, a poncho doesn't have arms, is it? It's just a head hole in it, and then it's just a.
Yeah, sometimes they have arms in them as well. So like when we've been to festivals, they've been handing them out.
Oh, they are fucking posh ponchos, they are.
Well, I don't know, they're free.
They got arms in them, they're posh.
Yeah. Because I fancied buying me and Sarah some. I think you can buy like good, thick, heavy duty fishing ones.
Yeah.
And they come down quite far then. And then I can tie a bit of string around the middle so I look proper, like a proper homeless person at the festival. It'd be awesome. So.
Well, you're taking tips from Roger's wardrobe.
Yeah, that's it. He posted today.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's on about doing an ultimate run. I don't know. I haven't seen any posts for a long, long time. So I don't know if it'd be the first one that he's done for a while. But yeah,
how many miles is this one?
It didn't say on there, but it's probably going to be like 100 and something. I would have thought, don't I?
Fucking hell, he's mad.
Yeah.
That's for the listeners out there. That's my youngest brother, Roger. He's what do you call it? A fucking free runner or something? He does ultimate marathons and he does free swimming now as well.
Yeah, or lake swimming, pond swimming, or whatever it is. Open water swimming, I think it's called, isn't it?
Is it? That's a sea, isn't it?
Don't know. I think it's just anything that's not a.
I think open water is a sea.
I don't know. But yeah.
I think there's free swimming or something it's called.
I don't know.
And he's run some massive races, isn't he? Like 100-mile races in 24 hours and shit.
Yeah, well, I remember the one he said he did. He was running for like 10 hours with a rucksack. Then you camp and sleep for about 2 hours, and then you run for another 10 hours again or something. It's, insane, absolutely insane what he does. But they play to him. Fit as a fiddle in here. There's no way I could do it. I can't run round the block. So
no, and it's surprising, really, since Rocky Shades has arrived.
Ah, excellent.
I can't see him. I can't see you, Rocky. I can't really hear you either. I can't hear you. I can't hear a thing you're saying, mate. No. All I can hear is like somebody stood in a phone box about 300 miles away. Oh, he's back. You sound like a Dalek. Only a poor copy. Oh, he's gone again.
Yeah, we're all Daleks at the moment.
I can't understand you. I can't.
Yeah, I'm going to try and connect to the laptop.
All right, okay.
Going to try and connect to the laptop.
Sign language? Yeah, you're going to try. Like, all right, it's no worries. Oh, I see now. Fucking technical problems again. What's
I
with all these
know.
technical problems lately? Monday was a nightmare.
I know.
And yeah, oh man.
iPhone, innit? iPhone's the way forward. Not that I'm promoting it or advertising it or anything, but if Apple want to pay me £1 million, I'm more than happy to put it online for them. So, no, he's gone.
I'll have to send him a new link, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Is it new message? Rocky. Oh, I better not say it out again.
No, don't do that.
I've got a bit of an habit of doing that.
I have to stand behind you when you're taking money out of the cash machine, and if you like shouting numbers.
Oh, not that bad. I actually never even go to a cash machine anymore. There's no need, is there?
No.
Everything's paid
No.
with pen.
I know, that's it. And
So yeah. But yeah, what was I going to say? So you don't really know much about Rocky? Except he used to be a boxer.
That's right, yeah. And he snapped up Apollo Creed. So yeah, I loved his movies, but no, I have done some research on him, but yeah, before the invite, I've not heard his music before, so I've never heard of Wrathchild.
Oh,
So, yeah, it's a new one to me, to be honest.
okay, cool.
Mm.
Yeah,
Good.
well, we'll talk
It's
about
good.
it when he comes on, but
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's nice. That's, like I said before, that's what I like. I like being exposed to new bands and new people and new sounds. So yeah, it's good.
not new sounds, it's old sounds. Old
That's new to
sounds
me.
to new ears, I think.
That's right.
That's what
Yeah.
they should say, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit like the dirty, fucking Big Dirty. I keep just saying the Dirty for some reason. The Big
Yeah.
Dirty, with their sleaze style of rock.
Mm.
Wrathchild were quite similar.
Okay.
Oh, they're quite similar to Wrathchild. I think
Yeah.
Wrathchild were a bit more outrageous, but yeah, I first came across them on the Tube back in the day. Were you watching the Tube when the Tube was around?
Yes. Yeah.
You must have caught the tail end, the end years with what was that blonde girl's name? Who used to host it? She was married to Bob Geldof.
Oh,
She ran off with Michael Hutchins,
yeah.
Mick
Yeah, I
Hutchins' brother.
Yeah. Right.
He's too tight to mention.
Yeah. Oh,
Paula something.
Paula Yates.
Abdul.
Paula Yates. Is it?
Yeah, not Paula Abdul. Oh, he's on.
Hello.
I can hear. Oh, now I can hear you better. I can only see
Yeah.
the top of your head, but
No, it's all right. I'll be Julie Allen for today.
oh, that's better. Oh, that's better.
Incognito today.
You forgot to put your eye patch on. How are you, man?
I'm all right, yeah. As you can see, the laptop's playing up.
Okay, yeah, the other one. Well, did you try and connect through your phone or?
Yeah, but I find it really difficult to look at a tiny screen.
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
Things.
Yeah, it's easy, yeah. Well, big things are always the best.
My telly's half the size of a wall, and the new laptop now is half the size of a table. So
That's it.
All right, cool. I'll just introduce you and everybody. Today we've got the pleasure of having Rocky Shades on the show. Rocky Shades is the former singer of Wrathchild. Wrathchild was a glam metal band back in the 80s. I first came across them on the Tube, as I was just saying to David, in 1984, playing Stack Attack and Trash Queen, I believe. You played on the Tube, Rocky?
yeah.
And yeah, that was a few years ago now, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it seems like yesterday to me.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, the thing for the Stack Attack video, it was filmed at the Black Country Museum before they actually opened on the outskirts of Dudley.
Yeah.
And I was living in Birmingham at the time, but now we've gone full circle. Now I'm marrying a girl from Tipton. I actually live just down the road from where we did the filming of Stack Attack.
Oh, right, okay. That's funny how things work out, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. You don't know what's around the corner.
Well, they say life goes around in circles, don't they?
Oh, don't say that. I might end up back in the original band. We don't want that.
Yeah, so you started the band in 1980. I mean,
1980, yeah.
were you all kids then, or was it like?
1980, I was 20.
Oh, were you? Okay. You're a little bit older than me then.
Yeah, 61.
Yeah, I'm 55 now, so.
Just a little bit older than you.
Only a little bit. It's not much, is it? You're sort of like that step away, really, and you that for the musical generation.
When I was a kid, and I used to look at people that got the label 60 something, they was like ancient. I look at me at 61 and I think, I don't look like any of them.
That's like if I shave my beard off, I'm a proper baby face as well. So
I've had to shave my beard off this morning. Lockdown, post-lockdown beard.
Yeah. Look at mine. This one. So I mean, you started the band in '80s, so I naturally assumed you were like kids from school. You were a school band or something. But
no, the members of Wrathchild, they were very insular. They all went to school together. They all lived a stone's throw away from each other.
Yeah.
I was an outsider from Birmingham that came in and was literally like the foreign body that just hung around and became, one of the Evesham fraternity, because that's where they come from, Evesham.
Okay, yeah.
And a lot of people just naturally assumed we'd all grown up together because we had that chemistry. We just seemed to be like a gang.
Yeah.
One of these sort of soft gangs that don't fight.
There's plenty of them around.
Well, I'd say one of these gangs that don't fight. Anyone who knows the stories about Wrathchild, that's not strictly true.
Yeah, they're not supposed to fight with each other. That's a problem.
Well, that didn't happen till later.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, because I was just reading some stuff about you earlier, and it said that like Mark and Phil formed the band. But I mean, basically, you were part of the original lineup.
Yeah, I think without getting into too much legal water,
yeah,
I think there's been a lot of ownership of stuff that didn't quite ring true.
Yeah.
Hence the fact the trademark war that we got involved in.
Yeah.
What basically happened was Mark and Phil had just failed to win a Battle of the Bands competition with a band called Sinner. And the two of them hadn't got a band. They just decided we need to put another band together. And they went on the hunt looking for people.
All right.
And they came across me while I was still in the band Hoi Polloi, which changed its name to Titan with an I.
Okay.
In Birmingham. And then we was looking for a drummer. And a lot of things have been said about the Wrathchild name being suggested by those two.
Yeah.
I beg to differ. It was an evolution thing. There was a lot of ideas thrown across. There was a lot of looking at what the band was going to be like and trying to make a name to go with that. I mean, at that point, we was very sort of influenced by the punk attitude, but we didn't like the punk sort of image.
Yeah.
So when we said, like, what sort of a name do we want and what's it supposed to represent, we said something to do with angry children. Angry children, Wrathchild.
Okay.
It does exactly what it says on the tin. Now, I've read, even from the band's perspective, things about how they think the name came about. Like, it was something to do with being Van Halen fans, Wrathchild, and all this rubbish. But basically, I've got Wrathchild diaries that I kept on the road. And in my sober moments, I actually wrote some sort of sense down. And it says in my diaries how the name Wrathchild came about. And not one member was responsible for that name. It was a collective idea. What do you call it? Brainstorming?
Yeah, brainstorming. Yeah, I mean, because like Phil left in 81 and then he comes back in fucking, what year was it? 90, when was he fighting for the name? 2009?
2008, 2009, yeah. because I did one show as a new Wrathchild in 2009, and the next thing I know, I've got this legal wrangle on my hands.
Yeah, but how can he fucking be in a band for a year, fuck off before you record anything, and then come back and say, oh, it's my fucking band? You know what I mean?
Basically, the band only belonged to one person, and that was the guy who thought he was the shock rock Führer.
Okay, so that was Phil.
No, it wasn't actually.
Oh.
I don't want to name names because of the legal battles that have been going on. But basically, there was only two of them, and the one who it wasn't Phil.
Oh, right. Okay.
You got the drift?
Yeah. So he's no angel then.
like we're saying, yeah. Now, what really got my back up was to try and make his argument stick that it was totally his band and we were just like the minions that were pulled in.
Yeah.
He had to say in written documents that he taught me everything I did. He told me how to sing. He even told me how to dress. Oh, please.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a bit
Look
much.
at the exist. I mean, I'm quite friends with the other two members.
Yeah.
But look how they look, and then look how I look, and see who dressed who.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah.
I carry the flag. I'm the only one that carries the glam flag.
Yeah. I mean, you're still rocking it today, so.
Because I'm the prettiest.
Was that? I got to ask you, that fucking Bette Midler wig you had on back in the day, was it real hair?
Oh no! Do you know how that came about? I was really into Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
I got to meet them a couple of times, and I really loved Twisted Sister. And the blue wig was basically a blue Dee Snider.
Oh, right.
It was meant to be a complete piss take. Not of Dee Snider, it was just meant to be a complete piss take.
Yeah.
And I don't think it went in my favour. It ended up looking like a blue Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
But I loved Twisted Sister. I loved everything about them. I thought they were just fantastic. Their attitude, the stage presence. I've answered questions like this before, and people say, like, who were you influenced by? Who made Rocky Shades? Well, basically, it was the people who gabbed a lot on stage. Vocally, I'm a very Dave Lee Roth man.
Yeah.
You know, he was God as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
Even though I was raised earlier than that. I was raised on the proper glam rock, and I was also raised with what I call vocal legends: Robert Plant, Ian Gillan, Ozzy Osbourne. Those are my vocal legends.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Basically, anybody that used to gab in between the songs, they influenced me greatly. Paul Stanley, Alice Cooper, Dee Snider, Dave Lee Roth.
Yeah.
That all helped.
Yeah. And obviously with the theatrics that Twisted Sister came with.
Well, basically, we didn't copy anybody.
No. I mean, you were influenced with it.
Twisted Sister had I watched their film recently, and they had the same attitude that we had. How much more can we do without either killing ourselves, killing somebody else, or blowing something to smithereens? And we both had that sort of attitude. They went one side of the fence. We literally started blowing people up, nailing them to the floor and all sorts. We even had real barbed wire at the front of the stage, and people said to us afterwards, "Oh, but we thought it was false."
Oh.
Where do you go to buy the unreal barbed wire? Seriously.
Where can you get fake barbed
we
wire?
thought it was pretend. They said as they was unfastening themselves from the spikes. And my all-time favourite was accidentally nailing somebody to the floor with a piece of stage gear because he pulled me over the barbed wire in the stack heels. And I still talk to this man today. He still loves me.
Or did you stand on his hand, or?
No, you saw the gear I wear in the Stack Attack video.
Yeah.
sort of armor plating with spikes.
Yeah.
None of it's rubber, none of it's plastic. It's all real metal. There's only
Yeah.
one other band apart from ourselves that used real metal in stage gear, and that was Wasp.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But we seem to do it first in this country anyway.
Yeah.
But we seem to do it very, very dangerously. When you put all that metal and spikes on 6 to 7 inch heels, you've got a recipe for disaster. And this guy reached up, shook my hand. I went straight over the top and nailed him to the floor. Now, this story has become so legendary. People like Vice Squad tell it the world over. There's other stars. Lemmy used to tell it to people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I read something about it earlier.
These are the things that really happen, you see.
Yeah.
And these are the things that you can't say were made up because it's been proven and people were there, they saw it.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't get away with that nowadays with health and safety.
Oh, health and safety? Oh, no. I mean, I've still got a stage jacket that I can just about wear because it's so heavy and so full of real metal.
Yeah.
And I still teeter around on stack hills now. But the health and safety it's gone mental.
How high are those stack heels?
It's gone so mental. I had to make my own bazooka that worked by compressed air and nothing that could set fire to things.
When, in 1984? Oh, not now?
Today, now.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, the show we did at HRH Sleaze, was that a couple of years ago, Bab? HRH Sleaze was the first time I debuted this thing. And it's basically just a steampunk bazooka that I built that literally works on compressed air rather than anything fiery. So it needs no tests, no fire people looking at it.
Yeah.
It just does what it does.
Oh, right. Oh, that's okay then, isn't it? As long as nobody's getting hurt.
Well, yeah, these days you can't do it.
No.
You'll be sued for just even look at them in a funny voice.
Yeah, I bet. So what happened with so in 1982 then you signed to Bullet Records, and I was reading something about that, and did they actually go bust or?
No, I only found this out while I was preparing for the Rocky Shades documentary, which never came about.
Yeah.
We put a lot of footage and a lot of effort into that for the guy to run away and go and live in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So should he ever watch this piece of film?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? You've got 12 hours of my interview footage. Use some of it. But no, I still talk to Ivan from Bullet Records. And basically I found out that they sort of offloaded us onto Heavy Metal Records, even though we were supposed to be cajoled into some sort of deal with them.
Yeah.
There was a lot of backfield stuff going on that I don't think we really understood.
Okay.
And a lot of people have told me there was a lot of things happening in the background that you didn't understand.
Yeah.
I mean,
They were paying you your fucking
anything to do with the business side of it. We weren't in it for the business. We were in it for the girls and the drink and the partying. Man.
Oh, so they are, because I read something on the internet and then but so then they just passed you on to HMR and then they promptly fucked you over, really, didn't they?
I think it was a combination of they did and we did, to be honest, because we sort of started flags in the ground before we should have had flags in the ground.
Okay.
And the final nail in the coffin was when RCA America came forward and said they wanted to buy us and let's redo Stack Attack. I still think Stack Attack is an amazing album. I just think the production on it is pink fluffy slippers.
It is.
And
I thought you recorded it in your garage, to be honest.
No, it was actually recorded in a tin. We all went to this minimizing plant, some strange thing left over from Nazi Germany. We were all made really, really tiny. They put us in this biscuit tin. We recorded the whole of Stack Attack. Then we were reduced to put back to our normal size, and then expected to mix this thing down.
Yeah. But anyway, you were saying about RCA coming in.
Again.
You were saying about RCA coming in
Right, you have to keep doing this a lot because I digress.
That's
Yeah,
no worries,
I
man.
digress a lot, so you have to keep give me that extra nudge.
That's
I've got
okay.
my partner here. She'll give me a nudge if I go too far off the tracks.
I
Yeah.
go way off as well, and David has to pull me back in because half the time I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I go so way off. I completely forget. You know, I'm actually on the screen and start watching telly.
Oh, I don't. I hope we
No,
don't make you that bored, but
RCA America came in, and they thought that the manager of Heavy Metal Records was just going to roll over and hand us to him.
Yeah.
But he put such an expensive price tag on us. I didn't even think we were worth that. But they decided they wanted to have a little fight about it.
Yeah.
And basically, they went into a legal war, but it was a legal war that literally just stopped us dead. There was no masses of money thrown at each other. They just stopped us dead.
Yeah.
While either side stood, looked at us in the middle of the ring, and it's just how like, so what do we do now?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this side, the heavy metal side, says, I'll tell you what we do now. I'm going to put an injunction on you to say you can't play live, you can't record anything. What these other guys going to do, they're waiting to take you on, and they can't touch you until I release you. So there we are in the middle, not being able to do anything.
Yeah.
And that's really how I got involved with the punk band Discharge.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to bring that up, but well, that's a nightmare, man. That's a nightmare with a label, though.
And I spoke to the manager. I don't know, I don't name him, but everybody knows who he is. I spoke to him while we were doing the documentary.
Yeah.
And he confessed to me that he was a bit young, he was a bit a little bit whoa, you know, handled it a bit wrong.
Yeah.
And he had quite a bit of money in the bank. So rather than just rolling over like most record companies that say, yeah, take them away, I'll have that massive chunk of money and you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
He basically stuck the flag in the ground and goes, you're not having these, not without my terms, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the rest is just history. It just collapsed about us.
Because he had a few other bands, didn't he?
And he also handled bands without like managing them.
Oh, right. Okay.
He sort of passed the records on, sort of a distributing sort of outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I used to manage a band, and I managed a couple of bands, but I managed, and we had the same sort of thing, you know, the singer left, and then we had to get a new singer, and we were in the middle of a tour with Golden Earring at the time.
Oh, right.
And we did like 16 shows with Golden Earring, you know, and he decided to leave, and the drummer left, and so I had to get a new singer and a new drummer in. There's only a 4-piece band, you know.
Yeah.
So I got him in because I'm in Holland. So we were touring with him in Holland we did 16 shows over 2 years. And that was the same sort of thing, you know. And the drummer, the singer left, and he wanted to take the name, and then he started the band as a UK band, and it just gets crazy, man. It's so.
This is how Phil got re-involved in Wrathchild. You know, turning the clock right back to where we should have been talking about this. Phil left Wrathchild in 1981.
Yeah.
To join Bill Ward's band in LA.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the paradise that he thought it was.
Okay.
He came back, and basically we got Lance in. We became the Wrathchild that everybody knew, you know, regardless of the legal wrangles. We just kept going and going and going. You know, the lineup of the Lance era literally lasted from 1980, late 82.
Yeah.
Until 91.
Yeah.
So it was Wrathchild.
Yeah, that
literally lasted that long. But how they got involved in putting another Wrathchild together, I actually asked Mark if he was going to do anything with Wrathchild, because by this point the name Wrathchild just put a chill on our spine because of all we've been through and all the money we lost.
Yeah. And
he said he definitely wasn't going to do anything with it. So I put together my own version of Wrathchild just to find that he then went and trademarked the name. And then he got Phil involved to do the new Wrathchild.
Oh, right. Okay.
that's how he got. At that point, he had nothing to do with Wrathchild whatsoever. He'd been in Persian Risk. He'd been in. Do you remember the name of the band he was in with Stevie James? What was that called? Oh, I can't remember. He was in a band with Stevie James from Tiger Tales.
Yeah.
And Crash KO. Crash KO. It always comes to me eventually. And it had nothing to do with the Wrathchild thing. But then all of a sudden, I mean, here's the rub. I was doing a Blues Brothers tribute. Yeah. And I was doing it professionally and earning a lot of money. And I got a call off them the one day. Well, I call off Eddie. He got the short straw, the drummer. And he said, would you like to come down and try out with this new Wrathchild we're putting together? And at this point, this was about this before the legal wrangle. This was about 2005, 2006. So we'd actually had contact well before that came about. But the trouble was, I was gigging a lot with the Blues Brothers, and I had a sort of Eastern leg to do, like Bahrain, Malaysia, that sort of thing. So I said to them, the rehearsal went really, really good. It was like, Wrathchild revisited, the old singer with a new feeling, the old guitarist with a new feeling. It sounded really, really good. But unbeknownst to me, the bass player was carrying so much angst from the days of old, which I didn't know anything about. I didn't realise that I'd stolen his band. I didn't realise that I'd stolen all his limelight. Yeah. And because the lead singer never outshines a bass player.
No, never, no.
Do they? Not ever. Exceptional circumstances.
Yeah. Lemmy, maybe.
I mean, even with Kiss, though, you've got like, Gene is a really, really amazing bass player, but he doesn't outshine the others.
Yeah.
I was still an Ace Frehley man, and I still think Paul Stanley's the glam god.
Yeah.
So, basically, this thing about singers outshining bass players, it's inevitable because they're the focal point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I thought Mark Anthony was a great bass player, but would he have ever outshone Dave Lee Roth?
No.
I don't think so. I was like, Billy Sheehan, amazing bass player. Does he outshine Dave Lee Roth? I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, the only bass, like I just said, the only bass player really that fronted a band was Lemmy, if it was any good.
Yeah. But Lemmy was an amazing bass player because he played his bass guitar like a guitar.
He played a bass.
He didn't play his bass like a bass. He played his bass like a rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
So was he officially a bass player? And he also played a Rickenbacker, which is quite a tinny sound.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure that qualifies as a bass player because, I mean, the last person I saw play a Rickenbacker was Geddy Lee.
Okay, yeah.
And that's not metal, is it? That's just weird.
That's fucking prog
rock. Wrong.
Yeah.
That's just extremely wrong.
So I don't know where we are now.
I've only got one set of permanent waves, and that's what I do to my hair.
You got anything, Dave? Because I'm lost.
You're lost, dude.
You're lost. Yeah, come on, bring it back.
So back in the time when you were with Wrathchild the first time, then what were some of the largest gigs you played?
Biggest gig with Wrathchild would have been the Lyceum with Wasp. There was supposedly about 5,000 people there.
All right.
Yeah. That's probably about the biggest. I mean, that's nothing really to write home about, but
But
we're a very personalised band. We like playing to people we could see rather than the sea of faces.
Yeah. But I heard a story that you were supposed to open Donington in '84.
Don't.
And that all got fucking.
I only went to one Monsters of Rock, and it was '84 because of Van Halen.
Yeah.
And it was years later, during getting information for the
doc,
legal stuff, and the Trademark War, and also information for the documentary and the book I was supposed to write.
Yeah.
Somebody then says, and I say somebody, it's not hearsay. The man who books the acts, the main man, Andy Coppin, says, I booked you guys once. You should have been on in 1984.
Oh,
And it's like one of those horrible soap moments.
yeah. I bet your jaw hit the floor, didn't it?
My jaw not only hit the floor, I swore if I found out who it was that said we couldn't do it on the day, I would kill them. And I actually put this out live. I actually said, without any joking, if I find you, you're dead.
Yeah. So could it have been the manager from HMR?
We can't say somebody in the organisation acting as our manager turned it down. We don't know. Nobody knows who it is, or nobody's got the guts to come forward and tell us who it is.
Yeah, but why?
I've done some digging.
And you weren't doing anything on that day either, because you actually went there.
Yeah, because you went to the show. Yeah.
We went, yeah. It was fantastic. I loved it.
That is just crazy, isn't it? Why the fuck would anybody turn that down, you know?
Spite.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
It's got spite written all over it, to be honest. And to be honest, there's a lot of people at that point in time that would have had an element of spite.
Yeah.
But what I will say is in 84, I don't think we'd fully fallen out.
No,
We had fallen out. We hadn't fully fallen out with Heavy Metal Records. So it may not have been the main man in charge.
Yeah.
It could have been one of his underlings.
Yeah.
He won't openly admit who it was. He just tells me it's not him.
Because 84, I mean, you're just breaking through, really, aren't you?
Yeah, but it was 84 where RCA America sent a representative. So I remember meeting them backstage. I'm not sure whether it was the Birmingham gig or whether it was a London gig, but I remember meeting them backstage and chatting to them.
Oh.
So they were interested in 84.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. So somebody fucking kiboshed it. The sound's gone off.
And then Crew took our place.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Would we have been where Crew were today?
Yeah, you can't say, can you?
Who knows?
Yeah. It's like the butterfly effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you went on for 10 years, and then that's where we were. That was the point we were. We were at you leaving and going to sing Discharge.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That was.
I didn't realise Discharge was still going in fucking 1991.
No, they weren't. Discharge was 87, 86, 87.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so basically, the stop on the band was round about 85, 86. We weren't allowed to do anything. The injunction on the band literally said, you've got. But we went out under a number of different names to play. And to be honest, they were so obvious, you had to be totally and utterly stupid not to know it was us. Things like the Trash Queens.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. But eventually we kept off the road and we started to implode, started to turn on each other.
Yeah.
And the Discharge thing came about. They just had a disagreement with their singer and they turned to their manager, George Clay, and they said, we need another singer to finish the American leg of the tour we're on. Any ideas? So George Clay says, is there anyone you'd like to do it? And they said, we'd like somebody like Rocky Shades. And I swear to this, people think I make this up, but this is, they told me this. They said, we wanted somebody like Rocky Shades. And George Clay said, why not just have him?
Yeah.
And they said, we haven't got any contact details. And this is exactly what he said. He leaves a paper trail so fucking long. We'll find him. We'll get him, don't worry. And I got this phone call and it says, oh, it's just George Clay. And I thought it was a wind-up. So I went into a rock star mode thinking that, you know, one of my friends is winding me up, and it turned out to be true. I was picked up for a rehearsal by the bass player, and I had to explain when I got there because I was always in awe of Discharge.
Yeah,
they were bigger, rougher looking than me, and literally the tightest band I've ever been in, ever.
Yeah. How long did you play with them for?
8 years.
8
We
years.
started working on a new album. It was after the Grave New World album.
Yeah.
We started working on new tracks for a new album, plus their stuff ready for this second leg of the tour.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen because somebody said to me, you do realize that you're tied to this injunction thing. If you do anything with Discharge, you won't be credited for it. You won't be able to admit that you're doing it. And you may even get in trouble for doing it because you haven't officially left this band. So
Wrathchild.
hands were tied. So I basically said to the guys, I can't do it. Yeah, we literally spent a year getting this thing together, and I had to just say I can't do it. And I don't think we left on amicable. They didn't leave on amicable terms because they thought I was making all this stuff up. But my hands were tied. I couldn't.
Yeah. I bet they just thought you just wasted a year by fucking dicking around, and then and then you left again.
Every time my name sort of came up in any interviews and stuff, there was lots of spitting going on. And the new version of the band literally played locally in some sort of punk festival thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't go for fear of what would happen.
See, is that for the legal wranglings over the name?
No, that was.
Or was that from the record company?
Oh, that was from the Heavy Metal Records
Yeah.
legal wrangle, the injunction that literally said we can't be credited for anything until this thing's sorted. And in the finish, it became so much of a tie. We went back to them.
Yeah.
We renegotiated a sort of new contract. So we got that far. And that's how the Biz Socks came about.
Yeah.
Sounding different from anything that had come before it.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to come back, but we wanted to come back with something a bit different.
Okay, yeah.
And it was my idea to use female vocal backers rather than us do it. But as it didn't really pan out that successfully, the Delirium album went back to formula.
Yeah.
We ended up doing our backing vocals. Yeah. Although the boys in bless them, they got Steve Grimmett from Grim Reaper to do some vocal bits that I couldn't do.
Oh.
Now I admit to that because I go for the big picture. He did a great job and he did actually sing the bits I couldn't do. So okay. I think the album was really good.
Why can you do him?
One, he sings far higher than I do, and they were supposed to be angelic voices.
Oh, right, yeah.
And two, have you heard Steve Grimmett sing compared to Rocky Shades? Concept.
You should have got Alec Jones, and he's a nice Welsh lad.
These days, we could have got Alex Cooper from what's that? Devil Fire. Yeah, he'd have done it.
He'd have done it. He's an old man. Yeah. So then, all right then. So then you brought out Delirium. So that was all mixed around your Discharge. Yeah, the Discharge was a little bit before, so you got back in touch with the HMR. They put a new contract together.
They got in touch with us.
Yeah,
they basically so. Our history is a very disjointed jigsaw.
It is. I mean, I've been trying to follow it, and it's like
no, you'll never follow it in a million years. I really ought to write it down, but legally, I'm not supposed to, so it's very difficult. Right. Basically, the Discharge thing peters out. We get an approach from Heavy Metal Records saying, "Okay, guys, your golden ship sailed." Because by this point, the people that were interested in Wrathchild in, I'll say, America have moved on. They've been replaced, as they do.
Yeah.
And the new people weren't interested.
Yeah.
So basically, Heavy Metal Records, which has now changed its name to FM Revolver.
Yeah.
Same shit, different name. Turn to us and say, well, okay, if we can work together, because they used to love us. They used to love us as a band. They used to love us as people. They just did some very, very silly things.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out for us. I mean, they got us the Tube. They got us some TV appearances. They got us some newspaper footage. So there was
They were
something
working.
there.
Yeah, they were working.
But they also got us a full page in sounds with some random bloke's face, virtually 3/4 of the page, saying "Vote Wrathchild." Go figure.
Okay.
We didn't understand it, and it was all about the video bans and stuff that came in. Remember, they took a lot of videos off the shelves and they banned them. Things like Driller Killer, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
I think we were supposed to champion bringing these things back in, because we actually got to 10 Downing Street with a petition. I don't know whether you know about that.
No.
I've got a picture of it somewhere. Wrathchild, the days when you could actually get to the door, can't do that now.
No.
But we're in full gear outside 10 Downing Street, giving them a petition about these video nasties.
What, to put them back on the shelf?
Yeah, and I'm not saying we did it solely, but we certainly started a movement.
Yeah, yeah.
And that particular day, we actually just saw the back of Maggie's head as she went through a door and was chuckling up the corridor. I'd never forget that. The limo came in, she had to walk past us, give us a funny look, the door shut, and I just heard her chuckling all the way up the corridor.
Fucking hell.
She must have thought to herself, the young ones have got a lot to answer for.
Yeah, probably.
So, Heavy Metal Records become FM Revolver. They've made us this new deal. We've done a new album. We think all's going to be okay. So we hit the road. We get ourselves back on the road. It's about 88, 89. And then we suddenly realise nothing's changed. You know, we're in the same position we were in before. We've got no money. We've got nothing to invest in new stage gear. This record's not being promoted properly. And to part from them, we had to do a contractual obligation album. That was Delirium.
Oh, right, okay.
Delirium should have been the worst Wrathchild album ever, because it was a contractual obligation album. But by the time we got to Delirium, we'd written some damn good songs. But my only criticism about Delirium is some of the songs are just too grown up. Too grown up for Wrathchild. Yeah. You know, things like Kid Pusher and Watch Me Shake It, which is about a serial killer. You know, Wrathchild's all about partying and sex and, you know,
beer and
nearly reached the double figures in an age. You know, it was almost teenage. It was, so we went too serious too soon, and I think that was the writing on the wall for us. And then we did a 10-track demo for RCA America that would have been the fourth Wrathchild album. Yeah. And then everything just ran aground. We realised the legal wrangles had dried up the coffers, they'd dragged us down, and then it just grinded to a halt. I know for a fact that it just cut itself off dead, but other members of the band say, oh, no, we continued it. You know, it was going from 1991 to 2006 when the other version formed. What were they doing then? Did you see any Wrathchild shows in the 90s? No. Yeah, the end of the 90s, early 2000? No, I didn't either.
I don't know where they just sort of went up in thin air, didn't it? In a puff of smoke, it was gone.
It had to peter out because we turned on each other.
Yeah.
Like a rabid pack of dogs. There was no one left to turn on but ourselves. Yeah. And we literally walked off in different directions. In their case, literally down the road from each other. I just went in a completely different direction. And we just went our separate ways. And then all of a sudden, this new version of Wrathchild's formed. The Trademark War begins. And I suddenly learned some home truths about what I was really thought of.
Yeah, about your mates, like.
Yeah, mates.
Yeah.
I'll say this to any band. If you're in a band with what you think are your best mates, just bear in mind you're with a band.
Yeah.
There's no best mates when it comes to business. That knife's as sharp as anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It'll
know.
come from anywhere.
I know.
You know, it was, the message was slammed home to me because I had a 40th birthday party thrown by my now ex-wife, and no musicians of any description came whatsoever. None of my band members came. None of my band members came from the whole kit and caboodle. Nobody. And I thought, do you know something? These aren't your friends. These are just people you work with.
Yeah.
You have a damn good time with them.
Yeah.
You do some crazy shit that you'll probably never do with anybody else. But at the end of the day, they ain't your mates.
Yeah.
They're your workmates. And just remember that.
Yeah.
See, I've been offered some serious bands to join that I turned down because I did the loyalty thing. I said, I'm not going to shit on my band members. And all those band members I never shit on me and joined other bands.
Yeah.
There's a lesson to be learned there somewhere.
But with the injunction thing, then, couldn't you just all you just couldn't perform full stop in any band?
It was so encompassing. We could do something in another band, but we were musicians that had recorded records. We'd been on television.
Yeah, that's your equity as a band.
You couldn't just join any old band and go back down the ladder.
Yeah,
we were too full of ourselves for that.
Oh, right, okay.
You know, we'd all got attitudes by that point.
Yeah.
You know, given enough money and given enough time, we'd have become Motley Crue. Definitely.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be talking to you today.
I don't like drugs, and I can definitely say I've never been down that route.
Yeah.
You know, which is why I'm probably
so good looking
today. You know, and anything groggy or bad that happens today comes from the stroke I had, not the drugs that I've taken.
Oh, right. When did you have a stroke, mate?
I had a serious stroke in 2016.
Yeah.
You wouldn't tell, would you?
No, you're doing well.
No.
Yeah, a bit of visual problems.
Okay.
So I'll take that any day.
Yeah. Was it touch and go or?
Well, I'll tell you how touch and go it was. Two of my workmates, because I became a postman.
Yeah.
When the band stuff started running the ground. Two of my fellow postmen, one of them died from what I had, the same conditions.
Yeah.
And one's still in a coma now.
Bloody hell.
So,
That's
heavy shit then.
I am a demigod.
Were they both postmen?
I'd say it.
Were they both postmen as well?
Yeah, both postmen.
There's something about that.
There's a good advert. There's a good advert for the company.
Yeah. Did you just see that shit on the news about all them sub post office masters?
Can't believe it. That's horrible.
Way off there, isn't it?
That is horrible. But this is what computers and mechanics have done to our society. You know, you saw what happened with the laptop. My eyes don't do that, and I've had a stroke. I mean, that actually devastated lives, that did.
Well, people were thrown in jail and all sorts. I mean,
9 months away from children, and she was pregnant as well.
Yeah.
That one. That's
horrendous.
I'd want serious compensation for that.
Yeah. I mean, that one woman, they were saying she pumped 36 grand of her own money into it because the money was disappearing, and then they go and accuse her of theft.
Very, very scary.
Fucking crazy.
Very scary.
Yeah.
Every time I log on to any of my bank accounts, I dread to see that change in figure because the computer screwed it up.
Yeah. It's not putting millions into your bank account, is it? It's just taking millions away.
Exactly.
You know. So in 2010, then, go on.
When you think that if we took the internet away, like one of these cyber bugs, we'd all be screwed. We're so internet reliant.
No, yeah.
One little cyber bug wipes everything out. Everybody's accounts are done. Everybody's medical records are done. Everybody's anything that's logged down a record is done.
Yeah.
Businesses are now all on, files, discs, whatever.
Yeah. That's why you need to keep your money under your bed.
Well, they've even done that now, haven't they? They've even stopped that. They keep changing the notes.
That's right.
Yeah, they do.
You know, you keep all the money under the bed. You try changing the notes back. Oh, that's an interesting stash you've got there. Oh, I found it with a metal detector.
Well, you're not allowed to keep money in your possession anymore. If you've got more than like 10 grand, is it? Then they start investigating you for all sorts.
Yeah.
You know, you're not allowed to walk around with 10 grand in your pocket. Fucking
Have you
God
ever
forbid.
tried buying things with real money these days?
No, I haven't gone on.
Something of a considerable amount of money. You go in and you say, cash all right? And they look at you like you've just robbed the Bank of England.
Yeah.
Cash? You want to use cash?
I know, it's crazy.
Next thing you know, you pin to the ground. Oh, no.
Where'd you get that from? You know?
Exactly. You know, it's like, we found the new Ronnie Biggs.
So anyway, going back to your story. So you had a stroke as a postman, but then you formed Wildside Riot.
Yes, no, that was a really, really good band. That came about while the legal stuff was going on. Legal stuff. While the Trademark War was going on.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do anything Wrathchildian.
Yeah.
There's a term. There's a term for history.
Yeah,
I couldn't do anything Wrathchildian. I joined a Van Halen tribute.
Okay.
So I was ticking over with a Van Halen tribute. I also joined a band called the Handsome Beasts. And it was while all that was going on, I'm going from like doing nothing to suddenly being inundated with stuff. Iggy Pistolero of the Gypsy Pistoleros approached me and said he wanted to put a band together with me and Ace Fincham of Tiger Tails.
Yeah.
And we started bandying some names about, band names. That went on for about 350 names. And after a long protracted bit of this, bit of that, Wildside Riot was born. And in true style, the band's born. Iggy leaves. Ace Fincham doesn't even make a rehearsal.
And they want to take the name.
Oh, no. I was lucky with that one. I had the name. I kept the name, but the people who actually started the whole thing off just ran up into the sunset.
Oh, that's
and then
nice
little
name.
by little, we did the album, No Second Take, which I absolutely love that album. I put a lot of money into that album, personal money into that album.
Yeah.
And little by little, we weren't doing enough band work to sustain the professional musicians that were in the band. There were some professional musicians and there were some workers, and the professional musicians needed work, and we couldn't get enough gigs to keep them, so they ended up doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And basically every new version of Wildside Riot, it just collapsed on itself and started sounding worse than the last version. And then all of a sudden, what was left of the band turned to me and said, well, we do 2 or 3 Wrathchild songs in the set and people absolutely love them. Says, yeah. Well, why don't we go out as a Wrathchild?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. And then remember that while the legal wrangle was going on, I did actually purchase the trademark Rocky Shades Wrathchild, just in case.
Right, okay.
So while the real Wrathchild, or the real old new Wrathchild petered out because they couldn't get on, they did exactly what the original Wrathchild did, just turned on itself and imploded.
Yeah.
My version went from strength to strength, and legally, if you're actually called Rocky Shades and your band is called Rocky Shades Wrathchild, then there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, of course.
So basically, I literally walked away with that name, and we just started doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then COVID came along.
Oh, so you haven't actually been doing much stuff as Rocky Shades Wrathchild then?
We started doing some. We appeared on a couple of festivals. We did a few shows around the country, and then COVID took us out of the game.
Oh,
still going.
Yeah.
Have you been able to have any rehearsals or anything like that during COVID, or over the internet? Or?
We were able to rehearse under government rules up
Yeah.
until the last lockdown.
Okay.
Because two of my band come from Nottingham, I'm from Tipton, and one of the band members is from Birmingham. We're literally not allowed to see each other.
Mhm.
So you find it really difficult to rehearse under those circumstances.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
Plus, where I live is on the cusp of the real naff strain of COVID, high risk. You could
Right.
probably catch it just by looking at that screen.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a thing over my microphone, so I'd be all right.
So, we've literally like been watched like hawks. If we move out the area, they jump on us because they don't want everybody to die.
Well,
That's
what
it.
I find incredible is they banned plastic straws just so they could use the fucking space in the landfill for these fucking masks that they're fucking producing.
Yeah.
It's COVID's crazy, man.
It is crazy. I mean, COVID's been really clever. It's one of these things that slips under the radar. When you're ill, if you're not very well, it telegraphs that you're ill. So you sort of say, "Oh, I better not do this because I'm not very well." But COVID's got round that. It only kills certain people, and other people just walk around and pass it on.
Yeah,
That's the scary factor.
it is.
Now,
Yeah.
I've been working all the way through it as a postman,
Yeah.
but we've got measures in place where we're not supposed to, take our masks off. We're not
Yeah.
supposed to have contact with customers. And
Yeah, it is. It is pretty mad. I mean, my workplace is full of it. It went. This was a crazy. We went in. We had a bank holiday a couple of weeks ago, and we went in on the Tuesday, and it was like 54 cases in my building. Then by the Thursday, it was 84, 85 cases, and then they said it wasn't work related. And I had a big argument with my boss. I said, "Look, you've got an outbreak in work, so you really need to do something because they do testing in work as well.
Yeah.
It's like 15-minute testing, And one of my mates that I work with, he was negative on the Friday and then positive on the Wednesday. So I had a fucking row with my boss because then I'm supposed to be in quarantine,
Yeah.
But it's like, oh no, you're not allowed to go home. But then I got ill. I didn't get COVID, but I had like a respiratory infection.
Yeah.
And it was no COVID. I had blood tests and everything, and they said, "Oh, you don't have COVID at all, but you've got to stay in quarantine because you've been working with somebody that's got it." And I was like, "Yeah, tell that to my boss. My boss expected me to go to work." And then I had a big row with my boss over the phone. I said, "Look, I'm waiting for my blood tests to come back to see if I've actually had it or not." And he's like, "Oh, well, you told me that you don't have it, so you can come to work." I said, "You're not listening to me, are you? I'm waiting for my blood test to see if I have had it or if I haven't had it because I've got this respiratory infection, And he's like, "No, but you told me you don't have it. You've had 3 corona tests and blood tests, and you told me you don't have it, so you can come to work." And I was like, "I tell you what, I'll just phone you after I fucking spoke to the doctor, okay?" And I just fucking put the phone down on him. I was like, "Yeah, it's crazy."
I mean, the most I've been during this I've been during this COVID spell was after I had the vaccination. I was actually more ill after the vaccination than throughout any of it.
David's had the vaccination.
Yeah, I was the same. Yeah, so I've had my first jab. I found I had like a really, really bad headache.
Yeah, I did.
So,
Headache.
Yeah. Really bad headache with it. And
Mine went from the bad head to the aching arm. That kept swapping position, kept swapping place. If the aching arm stopped, the head started throbbing. And it wasn't like a proper headache. It was like a pulsing at the temples.
That's it.
Yeah, I've not had a headache like that before. And, I've had my head in a Motörhead bass bin.
Me too.
I know what loud is. And I also got very, very depressed for a couple of days. It just, no reason whatsoever. It just dragged me down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did have a down day actually. Thinking about it, but I
couldn't put my finger on it. Why? It just, I just felt really, really. Everything was just too much trouble, taking too much time. It was just customers were just too much.
So what are you doing now then? You still in the post office or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it keeps me fit.
I was gonna say something. You don't have a mobility scooter there to deliver your post on.
No, I walk 10.5 miles a day
Yeah,
delivering.
that's pretty impressive after your stroke then,
Yeah.
you know. Well, at least that's keeping you fit, yeah.
Keep me fit, and it keeps me from going too fat.
Yeah, maybe that's what we need to do, Ted.
Yeah, maybe. So what's the plans with Wrathchild then, Rocky?
Well,
Now we're
plans
coming out of lockdown, aren't we?
yeah, plans for Wrathchild are we're starting to take gigs on.
Yeah.
But I've now got a new drummer, and
Okay.
COVID stopped us rehearsing properly. He was just starting to get his shit together.
Yeah.
So now we've got to really run backwards and try and get his shit back.
Okay.
And once he's got his shit together, hopefully we can start doing gigs properly. And who knows, maybe record. I don't care, to be honest.
Yeah,
I do. All I ever wanted to do with the Wrathchild thing, I never explained this earlier on. I just wanted to play those tracks live again.
Yeah.
That's all I ever wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not bothered about new material. Some people want us to do new material, and if that's the case and it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
But all I wanted to do was take some of that classic stuff that people grew up with and just play it live again. You know, I've had people come up to me after a show and they said things like, you know, I'm the son of so-and-so or the grandson of so-and-so, and I virtually grew up with your music like they grew up with your music, you know.
Yeah,
and even though it's not the original,
Yeah.
it's still the song, you know, and it's like, it means so much. Or someone will say like, oh yeah, I had my first shag to that song. And I'm like, moving swiftly on.
Bit of a stack attack, yeah. So I was going to say something.
Yeah, they probably remembered their first shag to stack attack. They've not been able to walk since.
So who's your new drummer then? It's not Gaz Wild, is it?
Oh no, he was the original drummer. He was the original Wrathchild, new Wrathchild drummer from my Wild Side Riot.
Right.
Gaz had to leave the music business for a while. There's some personal stuff going on at home. I won't elaborate on it because it's none of my business.
Yeah.
But basically, he deselected himself from the squad. He's still a friend of ours. There's no animosity or anything. He deselected himself. So we got a drummer from a Wasp tribute of all ironies.
Yeah.
Okay.
A guy called Danny Dragon.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, nice Welsh connection there. He's from a really good Wasp tribute. So I really wanted to put together a show with them and us to redo the Wasp thing again.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be such fun.
Yeah, that would be good.
I don't think it'd end in the same bloodbath, but it would be good fun.
Yeah, we might have to fight over who's headlining, I guess.
Oh, I don't care who headlines. We didn't care who headlined back in the day, but you know,
yeah,
support band by any other name.
Yeah. All right, then, mate. I mean, yeah, I've pretty run out of stuff now. Dave, you got anything to ask? Or
Not really. No, I think
What about Bob?
Rocky's covered everything.
I think so. Yeah, I think we went through your whole career. But
oh no, not the whole career. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, not your
you
whole
wait till we
career,
meet in public. I'll have what do you call those things at the end of the books, an addendum, where you suddenly remember the things you didn't say.
yeah, that's it, isn't it?
I'll hand you something the size of several volumes of the Encyclopedia Britannica and say, here's the things I forgot to say.
Yeah. What's happening with your book then?
Oh, no, I'm on chapter 4.
You've been on chapter 4 for how long?
Forever. I really, you know, I'll be totally honest with you. Everybody wants the book. I'd rather play computer games.
Yeah, I heard.
I love strategy war games. I'd rather do that and write the book.
Well, all you need to do, right, is get your missus with a paper and pen, and when you're playing your game, just keep talking. And then she can write it all
Talk and
down.
concentrate on fighting at the same time. That's Philistine talk, that is. I'm a good commander.
I don't know. I don't play games, so.
I send 250,000 men to their death. There's a good reason.
David's a bit of a gamer, but I don't do gaming, so.
Yeah, love it.
What you
Yeah,
playing then, Dave?
Oh, anything. I've got I got a new, well, obviously from the new PS4 all the way down to 1980s. I got an Atari 7800 and Atari Jaguar and Mega Drive.
Until I moved to Tipton, I had all the consoles that I'd collected over the years. But obviously, I moved from one flat into another flat. So I had to brutally get rid of some of my babies. But I had everything from Spectrum, Commodore 64, Amiga 600. Then we went into television, Super Nintendo, Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4 Pro, Xbox 360, Xbox One.
Yeah.
But now I'm not very impressed with the new machines to make that extra jump. My next step is into gaming PCs.
Okay. Yeah, my kids are into their gaming PCs now.
I've been a strategy player. They play the best games.
Yeah.
Because you need a mouse and lots of buttons to play proper strategy. Plus, I'm very much into B-17, the Mighty Eighth. I love the bomber campaigns, and you virtually need a keyboard for that. You can't do that on a pad.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Is that like e-games? Is it called e-games? Where you can win
I like
money?
Call of Duty. What I don't like about Call of Duty is they last about 10 minutes.
Oh, I don't know.
They're
No,
very,
I mean,
very short.
oh, esports. That's it, isn't it?
The
Esport.
graphics are really, really good, but you have to play multiplayer to get anything out of them because the campaigns are just too short.
Yeah, they are very short, the campaign modes, aren't they?
Latest one I'm playing on 4 is that World War One Verdun, where you literally got to run around like a lunatic in the trenches and not get killed lots.
Yeah.
And take territory.
Yeah.
That is so realistic, it's frightening.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I've been playing. I was playing Spider-Man. I just finished that on the PlayStation 4. That was amazing.
Right. I remember playing all the derivatives of Spider-Man until it became Miles Morales. Yeah. I'm also a comic book fan, but I'm a religist when it comes to comic books. If you change the story, it's blasphemy.
Yeah.
And they do that lots.
Yeah.
And when they went into the multiverse and changed everything with the multiverse, I thought that was the ultimate cop-out. So when they did the Infinity Crisis and took the multiverse away, I thought a double cop-out, but it actually works in favour.
Yeah, that's it. No, I love my gaming. That's my gaming that gets in the way of my guitaring. So me and Terry are trying to learn to play.
My gaming gets in the way of writing.
Yeah.
Write songs. I've written loads in advance so I can play more than write.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that if somebody gives me a tune, I can write something within 5-10 minutes and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they got to give you that tune.
Yeah. They just give me the tune and I'll write them anything. Well, they give me a tune and a subject.
Yeah.
Because I could write about anything. So basically they say, look, got this tune. I was thinking about writing something about Templar Knights, which is what the Handsome Beast did once. Lead guitarist of the Handsome Beast said, I want a song about Templar Knights. Here's the tune. I had it written by the end of the day.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Look at that. That's no good, man. You need to get that book finished.
Dude, and I. I just know that the second it's complete, it's going to upset a few people. I don't like doing that.
That's what I was going to ask. Is it because there's stuff that you perhaps like to write about that you can't really write about maybe? And
my hands are tied, you see. What's the point of writing a book that there's certain things you can't say? And if you cross into that territory, you run the risk of it being stopped anyway.
Yeah.
So I have to be really, really careful. I have to think about what I say. And I think what the book's going to be mostly about is some of the stories.
Yeah.
Because it's the stories that people want to hear. It's the stories that people keep me up at the end of a gig, yakking away.
Yeah.
You know, they want to hear the crazy shit. So rather, forget all that sex rubbish. You know, everybody knows what goes on in the music business. You don't have to write about it.
Yeah.
Only sad bands write about it because they just fantasize about it. You know, we know it goes on. We know how it goes on. So just say, if you want to read about that, here's a list of books that tell you what it's all about. You just read their biographies. We just concentrate on the silly stories.
Yeah, yeah. What silly stories have you got? Apart from stabbing somebody with the suit.
Things like upsetting Blackie Lawless by taking the skeleton he normally chains up in the torture cupboard in the 1984 torture cupboard, which had the scantily clad woman in it, and sitting it down to make it look like it's on the toilet with a pair of jeans around its ankles, and then going into the crowd and watching him as he pulls the doors open. Things like that. It's like when I was chatting to UFO, and they told me about the time they were touring with Rush, and old Moggy crawls under the dry ice that they were using. And I don't know whether you remember the Hemispheres tour, but Geddy Lee had these funny Arabian slippers, had the curly bits at the end.
Yeah.
He pulled it straight and nailed him to the stage. Stuff like that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, things like we're on the way to a gig and we're going through a town, and all of a sudden we'll wind the window down or open the side door of the van and just spray people with crazy string because we can.
Yeah.
Or just kidnap somebody for a few seconds, just put them in.
Yeah, it was like, because when I was a kid, I used to go around with this rock band, you know, and they were called Frontier. And I was telling David on another podcast that we did that I was the drum tech for the night.
Yeah.
And I set the drums up and everything, and then I went and got fucking pissed backstage, you know. And I was looking out at the show, and like nobody was moving, nobody was dancing. A couple of the girls were dancing, and it was in like an old social club in Cardiff. And I was like, oh, fucking hell, man. I was just getting more and more wound up. I mean, it was full of bikers and rockers, and, you know, and they were quite a heavy band as well. And I was just getting more and more pissed off, more and more drunk, as you do, you know. And then the gig finished, and then I was backstage, and then the guy who was running the show came out. And back in them days, you know, you'd have a show and then you'd have a raffle.
Yeah.
You know, so he came out to do the raffle, and as he's talking and doing his bit of compare about the raffle and shit, I come running on stage pissed up, grabs the microphone, and I'm like, oh, you call yourself fucking rockers? You're all a bunch of fucking wankers, you know? And then the band, everybody starts shouting, and the two members of the band came running out and drags me off stage back behind the curtain again. And before we caused a riot, you know? And then fucking the guy that was comparing and doing the raffle pulled the raffle ticket out, and I actually won the raffle. So I had to come back on stage and collect the prize.
Oh, brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, stories like that, you just can't write them, can you?
Well, I tell you, the craziest thing that ever happened to me on stage, this is prime stuff for the book. We was playing a converted cinema in Portsmouth, of all places. And what they'd done was they'd taken floors out of this cinema. So the band played on the equivalent of where the gallery should have been, and the audience were on the floor about 15, 20 feet below.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this in my life. So we're doing the sound check, and I'm looking down thinking, it's got disaster written all over it. And there's a big yellow and black metal barrier across the front of the stage. I'm thinking, that's useful. So we does the sound check, we goes off, does what we normally do. We have a bit of a drink, bit of a party backstage. Show starts, smoke starts billowing. Well, I'm getting an update. Hang on. There we go. Comes running out in them stack heels. They've taken the yellow and black barrier off the front.
Oh,
Or
okay.
does the old cartoon
Yeah.
midair thing just before I plummet. Luckily, there was people down there to break my fall, which is nice of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we've got the problem. How do we get back?
Yeah.
Because there's only one staircase, and the one staircase is out around the building and up the side. So
Okay.
how am I supposed to keep the tune going and get back on stage?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, it was so funny.
But you managed it.
No, I sang from down there.
Oh, did you?
The breaks weren't long enough. Like, you know, if it was Van Halen, you could have just kept it going. I could have
Yeah. Yeah.
gone down the chippy, you know, gone home for a weekend, you know, they'd still be playing by the time you come back. But our lead breaks were just purpose built. They'd
Yeah.
just do something, and then we got more songs in that way. So
Yeah.
I literally the rest of the show down there, looking up. They were not-
Oh well.
I live to tell the tale.
It's
That's
it,
it.
innit? Anyway.
That's it.
Stuff like that. It's stuff like that that people don't read about in books
Yeah.
because other people, one, they probably haven't done it, or two, don't think it's sexy or important enough to put in a book.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the stuff I want to read about.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're always the fun bits, aren't they?
Everybody, I mean, even the publishers say, "Oh, come on, where's the sex? Where's the drugs? Where's the rock and roll, man?" It's like, what? You know, it's time we got into like our century.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, 70s porn film stuff. Let's just bring it into the now.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that, you know, when you're in a band, it doesn't matter whether you're famous, you've got that groupie online
Yeah. Yeah.
assembly belt type thing.
Yeah.
It's just not interesting.
Yeah.
It's the crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we like.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the best stuff, man. Yeah. I agree. So.
I've been telling my stories the world over because they're that random. Becky Bondage of Voice Squad once asked me, she said, how much of your stories are embellished and how much is actually like true? I goes, embellished? I said, I had to quieten it down for legal reasons. Ain't no embellishment going on.
Well, you don't need to embellish stories like that, do you?
Crazy, yeah. If you do crazy shit, you tell crazy shit as crazy is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the way it is. It's like I used to when I did a series of shows with Dave Evans, the original AC/DC vocalist.
Yeah.
We were chatting, and he played "Long Way to the Top" as a cover, as an encore. And I said, "This is my all-time favorite AC/DC song." And he looked at me and he says, "Why?" I said, "Because I was headbanging to this at Birmingham Town Hall when I fell off the balcony and had my fall broken by people below. It's a pattern building up here somewhere."
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
If anyone knows what the Birmingham Town Hall was like, that gallery's not very high.
Yeah.
It's literally not very high. But yeah, it was an incident like that that made me think that's my all-time favorite track. It just reminds me of the crazy
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
And I once won a headbanging competition when Anne Nightingale came to one of our local pub stroke rock clubs.
Yeah.
And because it was, how do you win a headbanging competition? You strap your hair about you know. So I ran into a wall. I literally just no, prompting, no sign, was giving it all, and they just ran straight into a wall. She just looked at me on the floor and she says, "You've got to win this." She said, "What can I say?"
Was she judging
You know
it?
what I won a Cheap Trick album.
Well, the Cheap Trick was running into the wall, wasn't it?
Cheap Trick album for smashing your face in on a wall. That's the kind of guy I am.
Well, you wouldn't be you otherwise, would you, mate?
Exactly. I'm not going
You
to
know.
change for anyone.
That's it. At least you can laugh about it, you know?
You have to laugh about it. If you don't laugh about it, you cry.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like my fiance, she came up with a great line when I was feeling down the one day. She said, stop remembering what didn't quite happen.
Yeah.
Remember what did.
Yeah.
You know, she says there's people that think more of you than you think of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and this goes for everybody. Everybody's got somebody that thinks more about them than themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought about it for a while, and I thought, I've done quite a bit. I've not done as much as I wanted to do,
Yeah.
but I have done quite a bit. So I thought, she's onto something there.
Yeah, that's quite a good quote, actually.
I thought, you know something, I'm going to marry that girl. I married that girl this year.
Yeah. And then COVID came.
Well, I was married that girl last year, then COVID came.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
We're actually going to marry this year.
When the lockdowns are lifted.
I'm coming off the market.
Oh, you have thousands and thousands of fans will be devastated, mate.
They're drying their eyes with their pants as we speak.
Yeah.
Some of them are even girls. I never told you about the one tour that was being arranged for Wrathchild in the early days that I had to say no to. One of our managers, in their infinite wisdom, thought that because we were like chicks with dicks, wouldn't it be a great idea to play a stream of gay clubs?
Oh, right, yeah. How did that
And
go
I
down?
says, basically, no, it wouldn't. I'll put my foot down on that one.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, you didn't do it.
We didn't do it.
That's how Take That got so big. You know, they started in gay clubs.
Look what happened to them.
Well, they made plenty of money. I know that much.
But money's not everything.
No, that's true.
Reputation is everything.
Well-
Money just helps you get there.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose Gary Barlow's squeaky clean.
No,
He's squeaky, I don't know about clean.
Yeah, something will come out about him.
There's a lot of squeaking going on there. I don't know about clean.
Robbie did the right thing, I think.
Exactly.
You know, just held himself to who he was and then fucked off.
I always thought he was the better vocalist. He just didn't have any real charisma.
Yeah, yeah.
He was the best songwriter and he was the better vocalist, but this game needs characters.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Like when I used to play abroad with like the Blues Brothers and various other things, you always used to get bands that were musically really, really good.
Yeah.
But boring.
Yeah.
Musically good can be so boring. You want characters. That's why these stupid reality programs have lasted so long. It's not the people that can actually do stuff. It's the idiots that can't.
Yeah, yeah. It
I
is,
take
yeah.
my hat off to anybody that gives it a go. Because
Yeah.
it takes a lot of balls, you know, to not realise how shit you are and do something on screen.
Yeah, yeah. That's
I
right,
made
yeah.
a promise. I said to my fiance, I said, if ever, one, I start looking too embarrassing to be a non-cringe factor, and two, if I start singing like I've been gargling with Listermint and broken glass,
Yeah.
let me end it. Let me just say the career's over and somebody else can
Yeah, fill the
shoes
void.
on.
Yeah.
At
What,
the
how
moment-
did you get into a Blues Brothers tribute band then?
Wow, there's a thing. While all this legal stuff was going on, I got very disillusioned with the rock business. So I decided I wanted to do something really, really different.
Yeah.
And I've always been a fan of the Blues Brothers. You know, the film, the concept,
Yeah.
I just love it. And an opportunity came my way to join up with a guy that had just lost his partner. And it was only meant to be a small-time concern, but we were actually very good.
Okay.
And it lasted from 2000 to 2007.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it was very good. We did some really good corporate work. I've stayed in some really fantastic hotels.
Yeah.
The best one was in Kuala Lumpur, where it took me 3 days to find the safe.
Right in your bedroom.
Oh, it was in the bedroom, but it was finding where in the bedroom
Yeah.
and where in the bedroom the safe was. I mean, got a suite. I was given a suite to stay in. I didn't even know what a suite was. I seen them on telly, and I thought
Yeah,
perhaps it's
yeah.
a big hotel room.
Yeah.
A suite's like a small house.
Yeah.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
So what were you doing? What part were you playing?
I was Elwood.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, I was unfortunately, I've got the more jakey voice.
Yeah.
And I'm not as tall as Elwood and don't play harmonica. So I pulled off the character, but to me, it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
You know, to be a perfect Elwood, you got to be a bit taller, thinner, and play harmonica.
Yeah.
But what we did must have been good because we had some serious corporate work out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That is cool.
Yeah.
I think
That's
most
good, though.
people don't admit to doing stuff like that. Oh, can't go from rock to doing stuff like that. I earn more money with the Blues Brothers than I ever have in rock.
Yeah, I bet. Especially if you're doing corporate work. I mean, it pays big money, doesn't it?
And it was for airlines and companies that paid for business class.
Yeah.
We don't dress business class, but we can sure use it.
Well, you sleep all the way there, don't you, in business class?
No, this is where me and the other guy differed. He slept all the way.
Yeah.
I utilised all the gadgets.
Okay.
I had to find out what all the films did, what all the buttons were, what the switches did. And we got on so well with the cabin crew. When we landed in Holland, which is where we flew from, they gave us like these little souvenir bags each with stuff in because we entertained them so much.
Yeah, really. Was that a big production or?
KLF, is it called KLM? KLM Airways. And it was 5-star hotel in Kuala Lumpur. And we were playing in front of the 7 kings at the time of Malaysia. They got 7 because they got this, they're all brothers.
Yeah.
And they got this insane thing that there's going to be an assassination. So they take it in turns to be the king.
Okay.
So
Keep moving.
if one of them should die, it suddenly becomes 6 chances of being king. And it slowly goes down the line. Oh, brilliant. I mean, you can't make this shit up. You know?
It's like, fuck that, you wear it today. I'm not wearing it today. You wear it today.
You can't get that kind of work now, that corporate work, because I'm still in touch with the other blues brother. He's still doing it. I went back into rock. He's still doing it. I started doing Blues Brothers with my son.
Okay.
My son, who's actually in a rock band, as he was growing up, he remembered me doing the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
And he said he wanted to put an act together, father and son thing. And as sad as it sounds, it was really good. We've had a great time with it.
Yeah.
And then COVID come along.
Yeah, again, yeah.
We're actually doing stuff until that. But my son actually makes me look normal. When I last looked at him, he was 6 foot something tall, a red Mohican haircut, lots of tattoos and piercings, but he's a lovely guy.
Nothing wrong with a Mohican, mate.
No, but you know, in the right context.
Yeah. All right then, man. Well, thanks for chatting to us.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
And I hope we'll see you again.
I know you'll have, as soon as you turn that off, you'll say to him, fucking hell, I didn't know it was going to be that intense.
Nah, this is not intense.
It's been great.
This is great, man. Yeah, so I hope we catch up with you again.
Oh, definitely. Whenever we start playing live and we start going to live things, if you see me anywhere, let's have a few beers at the bar.
Yeah,
Definitely.
well, if you come to Holland, I will.
That's another thing that I'm grateful for with the stroke. The tablets I'm on mean I can't drink to any heavy degree.
Yeah.
I can only have 3 major drinks a night.
Yeah.
So I can't get absolutely blotto. I've got my own built-in valve.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
My lady loves it
Yeah.
because as soon as I start approaching into the red, she'll just lead up to me and she'll say, "You're almost there."
Yeah.
And I broke the rules the last time we played HRH, and I had one extra drink and threw up for 5 hours.
Oh,
Oh
really?
man.
Come on, blood thinning drugs and all
Yeah.
sorts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stay alive.
That warfarin, it'll kill you, man.
Well, I'm on a Pixaban,
Oh, right. Okay.
which is a new equivalent.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say they've stopped that warfarin, haven't they?
Stop warfarin.
Yeah.
With warfarin, you had to have more blood tests
Yeah.
than you do with a Pixaban. You still have to have blood tests, but when they start again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with warfarin, it was regular, and it's just too much.
Yeah. All right. Very good. All right, then, mate. We're going to let you go.
Speak to you guys.
And you.
Yeah, and you.
Yeah. I hope we catch you on the road sometime.
You will.
And
No problem.
yeah, let's get over this lockdown situation. And
Gonna get through it. You know, tell the world we're gonna get through it. We're
yeah,
made of sterner stuff.
you changed your name to Julie Allen, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Don't tell anyone. Don't let anyone know. You can only see the male shirt and the hat. You can't see the skirt and the high heels.
Well, we've seen enough of the high heels in the past.
You wouldn't expect anything else.
No, of course not.
All right, guys, take care.
All right, mate.
Yeah,
Take it
take
easy.
care.
And I will say goodbye to Julie as well.
Yeah, she says goodbye, Jules.
Bye.
Bye, boys.
Ta, mate.
Take care, guys.
Do you know how to turn it off? There you go.
Do you know how to turn this off?
I've done it.
Here she is.
I can't see it. I've turned it off.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Oh, you no, I can't see you.
Oh,
Technology, eh?
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
You enjoy that, mate?
Yeah, it's like proper rock and roll, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's good, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check him out when he starts his gigs again.
Yeah,
I love Blues Brothers. I absolutely love the Blues Brothers. So you know, I'll keep an eye on him on Facebook, because if he does a show with his boy, I'll definitely go and watch it. That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be absolutely awesome.
cool.
Yeah, oh, it was good fun. Really good fun, eh?
Yeah, it's nice talking to him, actually.
Yeah,
Nice guy.
yeah, and he's does post crazy.
He's a postman, yeah.
Yeah, after the rock and roll lifestyle, and he's a postman to keep him busy and keep him fit. What a great idea that is.
Yeah. Yeah, especially after having a stroke and
Incredible, isn't it?
yeah. So, all right then, mate.
Okie dokie.
For another show,
Yeah,
we'll call it a day.
we will
We got-
do, yeah.
We've got a few coming out this week, so got
Yes.
a few to do this week. What are we doing tomorrow?
Let
me have a look. I got my book. Michael Armstrong.
Michael Armstrong, that's right.
Don't think he's going to be quite so rock and roll, but
I knew it was Michael, yeah.
he doesn't seem very rock and roll.
Okay, and then we got a busy day on Friday then.
We have a really mad day on Friday.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
All right then, mate. Nice speaking
All
to
right
you.
then. Yeah, and you.
And I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. Take
All
care.
right. Ta-ra, Dave.
Over and out.